Yay! We made it to the end of the year without dying. Yay! Hello, everybody. Welcome to the MaffmanJones movie channel. I'm your host, John Maffio, and we have made it. These are some of my favorite videos to make every year because it's a culmination of everything that's happened in the whole year cinematically. And we have this list, and then we have that other list. We'll get to that in another video. These are the last two videos of the year, but this one is positively fun because we're talking about my favorite movies of 2015. Two things. One, I haven't seen every movie that's come out and released this year in 2015, and that always happens. So there may be some movies on this list that may not be on there because either one, I didn't see it, or two, I didn't see it. But here are some recommendations. And the other thing is that these lists are subjective. As everybody else says on the YouTube film fan community, and everybody who's a critic, or, I just said critic, like critic. That's weird. Movies are subjective, and not everybody has the same tastes. But if you're offended by this list for some strange reason, then tough luck shit. Let's not suppress the wait for this list any longer. Let's get started. Number 10 is Straight Outta Compton, the movie based on the real-life rap group NWA, the N-words with attitude. Starring Ice Cube, Dr. Dre, and Eazy-E. I am big on hip-hop culture, so I was always excited for this movie, but I wasn't expecting the raw, powerful, energetic feelings that this movie was going to bring. It's a lot of fun to watch, even though there are dramatic moments. The dramatic moments feel earned, and the performances by all the actors are great, but it's a movie that just really captures the essence of what the group was trying to bring forth with their music, and I really appreciated that. Number 9 is Mission Impossible 5, Rogue Nation. It followed up its predecessor and shot to the moon and back. It's a great spy film. Tom Cruise, he's getting older, but he keeps making his movies better somehow. I don't know how. The action is superb. There's one scene in an opera house that will probably be in my top 10 action sequences of the decade. It's a great entry into the franchise, and I can't wait to see what happens with 6. Number 8 is Ex Machina. It stars two actors from The Force Awakens, Domhnall Gleeson and Oscar Isaac, and there's one really cool scene where Oscar Isaac dances to disco. I'm not going to say anything else. It mingles with the idea of us playing God and creating AI, and how that could not be beneficial toward mankind. And it's actually really interesting. It's not fun at all. It's actually very dark and dreary and suspenseful, but I loved it. I love the performances. I love the tension between the two actors. Very claustrophobic, and I say if you're into movies, you shouldn't miss this one. Number 7 is The Martian. It's directed by Ridley Scott, stars Matt Damon, among a bunch of other actors that you've definitely seen in other movies before. This is a film that I didn't expect Ridley Scott to make. It definitely doesn't feel like a Ridley Scott movie. It's hilarious. It's also very suspenseful, like the previous movie that I mentioned, and it's really long too, but the pacing is perfect, and you really feel satisfied by the time it's over when you actually, not to spoil it, but the ending is very satisfying, and you feel like the entire experience of watching this movie is earned. And if you haven't seen it, it's a movie to be seen. It's a must-see. Definitely see it. Number 6 is a film that I was going to review, but I just couldn't find time to, The Hateful Eight. I just saw it yesterday, and I'm already in love with it. It felt like a Broadway play. It has an overturned intermission, and it definitely feels like you're watching a Broadway play being depicted on screen, but filmed in 70mm. It's got all the quintessential Tarantino dialogue, the monologues, the gory violence, everything you expect from Tarantino. If you're a fan of Tarantino, it's a perfect movie to watch, and it's a fun time. You're going to laugh, you're going to be shocked, and you're definitely going to be surprised. Hateful Eight, great movie, but be prepared to go to the bathroom, because it's over 3 hours long. Number 5 is Mad Max Fury Road. It's just a really awesome action movie with cars. And, Tom Hardy, the whole movie's like, give me a gun, bitch. The music is amazing. The action is some of the best action you'll ever see in any movie ever. I'm really, putting this movie on a pedestal, but everybody talks about this movie, or most people talk about this movie with high praise, and they're right. Mad Max Fury Road deserves all the praise. And if you haven't seen it, then definitely go watch it. Even if you haven't seen the old Mel Gibson movies, which I haven't, I still look at this movie and go, it's a great action film. It's simple. It's so simple, but it knows it's simple, and it just does everything it possibly can with the simplicity. Number 4 is Creed. the soft reboot to the Rocky franchise. I cannot talk about this movie enough. I mean, I've been watching Rocky films my whole life, but if there was a way to reinvigorate the Rocky franchise, it would be with this movie. It takes all the competent elements of the old Rocky movie, especially one, and integrates it into a new film that creates for a character in Adonis Creed that will not be forgotten. Michael B. Jordan in this movie brings his all. Sylvester Stallone does stuff that you would not believe he could do still in his career. And it's a movie that will inspire you. It'll make you want to run up steps, up and down, up and down, up and down, until you sweat and your balls fall off if you're a guy. It's endearing, it's poignant, it's inspiring, it's a great movie. Number 3 is Sicario. This is a movie that I didn't expect to like as much as I did. I was always looking forward to it, but this guy made Prisoners before this and Enemy, but Prisoners is one of my favorite movies of the year it released in 2013, I'm pretty sure. But Sicario, in my opinion, had more tension than Prisoners, and Prisoners made me almost shit myself. Sicario is a movie about Emily Blunt going to the Mexican border to take care of some business, but she has some friends like Josh Brolin and Benicio del Toro. But we don't know much about del Toro's character. He's just there, and he has his extensive knowledge on what's going on. And it's a great mystery thriller full of suspense that by the end of the film, I could not take how much I was shaking anymore. I don't want to say anything else, but the film is definitely going to provoke thoughts in your mind afterwards. And that's it. Number 2 is Star Wars The Force Awakens. Haha! You thought it was going to be something else, but no. Number 2 is Star Wars The Force Awakens. It was an essential Star Wars movie that reinvigorated the magic that was captured within the first 3 original movies. Yes, in skeleton looks, it is pretty much A New Hope. Again, the movie accomplished its job, and it is to be a good Star Wars movie. It is a launch pad for movies to come in the future to be greater than potentially thought. It actually turns out that collaboration is a good thing when it comes to Star Wars. And number 1 is Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs is a movie that I didn't expect to love, but Aaron Sorkin, he wrote one of my favorite movies of this whole decade, Social Network. So I was going into this thinking it could be really good. The first words that came out of my mouth when the movie ended were, holy shit. Because I had experienced something that I hadn't experienced in a movie theater in a long time. And it's just, I guess, I'm a big fan of talking, especially when dialogue is riveting. Some of the most engrossing conversational pieces that I've ever seen. The whole movie is 3 set pieces, 3 press conferences with a couple of flashbacks in between. But for the most part, we are seeing things occur in this film that don't really happen in film anymore. And it takes risks. It's ambitious. It's a movie that really hit me in a way that Star Wars didn't. And that's why it's number 1. It's a movie that I'm never going to forget. And it's not for everybody. I understand that. But for me, it was a perfect film for what it was trying to do. And that's why it's number 1. And that's it. Those are my top 10 favorite movies of 2015. Let me know about your list, top 5, top 10, top 15, top whatever, in the comment section down below. What would you agree and disagree with on my list? Do you think that I was wrong to put Star Wars not number 1? I was almost debating not putting it on the list at all because of fanboy reactions, but I've seen the film 4 times, and I can confidently say that I really loved that movie. The last video of the year, my worst 10 movies will be coming out tomorrow, and then New Year's happens, and then 2016 will be a new year, where hopefully some cool things will be happening, and I definitely have things planned, I promise. I'm John Maffio, aka MaffmanJones, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for the worst 10 movies, and then on to new and better things. Hopefully. But we're in January, so that's a lie. See you guys next time.